Hi everyone, I'm super thrilled today. I've got the one and only Ms. Shivani Agarwala with me. She's a six-time world kettlebell champion, a practicing chartered accountant, and also a TEDx speaker. So, she's making India proud, and she's also been honored by the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji. So, welcome to this podcast.
Thank you,
truly excited to have you with me today.
Likewise, I'm very excited.
So, to begin with, Shivani, I want to know a little bit. Kettlebell being a very different sport, what gotten you into this sport, and what was your inclination? Were you always a sporty person, or from a childhood, or this came to you at a later stage? So a little bit on that.
Wow, thank you for asking me that question, because this is what I love sharing with everyone. So I have been someone who's never participated in a single sports event back in school or college, not even March past. And how sports began for me is it's very different. So I became a mum in 2015, and I had about a couple of kilos of postpartum weight, and I wanted to shed that weight. And for the first time ever in my life, I hit the gym, and that's where I met my coach, Mr. Arnab Sarkar, and I came across this beautiful equipment of kettlebells. Okay. So I started my journey just with an idea of losing postpartum weight. And I didn't realize that I was a world champion in making. And that's how I began my journey into sports.
Well, it's truly commendable, you really making India proud, raising the level, and especially kettlebell, this is a sport which is something truly inspiring. So kudos to you on that.
Thank you.
But you know what, as a sportsman, there are a lot of challenges and hurdles. There are days probably, you get fatigued, something's not going right for you, so how do you battle challenges and how do you overcome them? What do you tell yourself every day? How do you self-motivate yourself every day? So a little bit on that, how do you overcome your challenges?
I think when you ask me that question, Sid, three things really come, as in what you see as the top of the mind recall. And I'd like to speak a little about each. One is the power of consistency. The second is the power of having a good mentor. And third is on finding your why. So to begin with, consistency, I always tell myself that if you are persistent, you will get it. And if you are consistent, you shall keep it. So hence, I know I was never on the quest of becoming someone great. But I told myself the one thing I need to promise myself is consistency. And I think motivation is an expendable commodity. You cannot always be motivated. So I made sure that I create an environment around me that keeps me motivated, which starts from my husband, who is one of the reasons why I am where I am. He pushes me. He's the Amrish Puri of my life, who is cynical to no extent, but he makes sure that I'm the best version of myself, whether it's as a mom, as an athlete, as a chartered accountant, or as his life partner. With him, he's always told me it has to be your A game or no game. So I think the environment really matters. And also, Sid, I believe, you are the product of 5 people you spend most of your time with. So I'm very lucky to be in company of people who are constantly pushing me to be the best version of myself. The second is mentorship. As someone rightly said, that you make a living by what you get, but you make a life by what you give. So I am a product of mentorship and hard work. For someone who was never sought after for any sports event to be reigning as India's first and only 6-time women world champion in kettlebell sports, the journey has been long, it's been tough. I'm not going to say it's been easy, but most definitely worth my while. And the one person who's been my constant in this journey has been my coach. I'll give you a small instance. Like you can see, I injured my hand. It's a big burn I had. I told my coach, I feel weak. He says, no worries, we'll train with the left hand. Now, kettlebell is a very unique sport and you need to be very mindful of how you're lifting your bell. I don't think so. I was in the right frame of mind and I lifted it the wrong way. And I had a nerve pull on my back, a small one. He did not stop there. He said, no worries, you get out your dumbbells. Now the dumbbells were in my garage. Okay. Now that was taking another 10 minutes. He says, no worry, we'll do body weight. Now to have a mentor in your life who's constantly pushing you, I think that is the reason why I'm here.
Also, you've got the you've got the honor from our honorable Prime Minister.
Yes.
You know, that I think that is something for everyone. It's a dream for everybody.
Right.
You know, to be recognized by him personally. So what was that feeling like? You know, when you were actually being honored by him. You know, what was that moment of time for you?
Well, I mean, it was almost like my eureka moment. I was like a kid in the candy shop, not knowing what to do. So I had just got back from a client visit. I think it was about 11 p.m. And I get a call from my brother, and how all younger brothers are, pranksters. He says that, and the Prime Minister wrote the letter to my father, describing in detail, it was a handwritten letter, describing in detail my contribution to the nation, not just as an athlete, not just as a chartered accountant, but also as a parent. Okay. So he said that we've received this letter and it speaks about you being so and so. I was like, the Prime Minister is not, he doesn't have that dearth of time that he's going to do that kind of a research on me. And then he sent that letter, the soft copy, on a family group where we are 100 members.
Okay.
And it took me a while to really understand, okay, this has happened. So that was at a personal level. Obviously, I was proud of myself. My family was very proud of me, Sid. But I think what it did to me was to give me a fillip in terms of getting the sports recognized and to take it out to the mass. And I'm a chartered accountant by the grace of God. I've done well for myself in building a name for my firm, Shivani Shah & Associates. So people have known me for the good work I've done on the indirect taxation front. And then now we had people who were talking about, okay, wow, that's a sport. Because 9 out of 10 would pronounce kettlebell as kettleball. Okay. I'm glad at least you did it the right way, because people have that notion of, Bollywood stars just doing a few swings and that is what it is. Right. But I started pursuing it as a sport. And I think that recognition from the numero uno was a big deal for me. And I'm personally very, very fond of our Prime Minister. So for me, it was a great moment. And I wish to relive it again, as I'll be meeting him in person this year.
Wow. You've really made the nation proud, and especially, whoever knows you, you're such a humble person also, that it's nice, because there are times, when you get that kind of recognition, sometimes you don't think, you really think too big and things like that, but you've always been so grounded, so humble, and, even the first time we connected, it was so nice, in fact.
Although we were on opposite sides.
We were on opposite sides of the debate, but it was actually a memorable moment.
Absolutely.
So I want to know, Shivani, if I see you 5 or 10 years down the line, what are the goals or the targets you've set for yourself, which you want to probably achieve, and where do I see you, in future? What do I see you pursue or wanting to achieve more?
Well, I'm 42 and I'm still chasing my hero. Oh. So if you ask me, and a lot of people ask me, Shivani, you're this, you're that, how do you manage it? And I always tell them a few lines which I think describe me the best. When I look at myself in the mirror, this is how I describe myself to myself. मैं स्वयं हूँ सूरज अपना, मेरे सामने तम क्या है, चुटकी भर ये मुश्किलें और 2-4 जख्म क्या है, उड़ चला हूँ चीर के आंधियों की उड़ को मैं, मेरा हौसला तय करेगा बाजुओं में दम क्या है.
Wow.
So, feel chronologically I'm 42, biologically I'm somewhere inching in my 20s. So what would you tell a girl who's in her 20s, आपका goal क्या है? She would say, I'm still wondering what to do in life. At least I've figured out my why. And, as someone rightly said, that if you find your why, you can endure almost anyhow. And at 42, I think my hero is still 5 years away. So someone asked me that, ab tham jao, you are a 6-time women world champion and there is no one who's close to you. Why more? And I wish to do so much more in my life. For me, my journey has just begun. So the beauty of kettlebell sports, Sid, is that it's a very dynamic sport. Now, today I'm India's only Master of Sports ranker in women athletes. And it's a rank which is just one level below the highest rank one can achieve.
Wow.
You have CMS, which is a candidate of Master of Sports. Then you have an MS, which is a Master of Sports. And then the apex is MSIC. Now, I am India's only MS. I obviously wish to be an MSIC. I do a lift called Snatch, which is called the mother of all lifts. It's a very technical lift with a combination of strength, endurance, and technique. I am trying a new sport now, which is called lift, actually, not a sport, biathlon. So there is so much variety, and every time you start a new lift, you're back to the drawing board with an absolutely clear slate. So I think that is the beauty the kettlebell sports offer. As far as work is concerned, thanks to the GST department, work is only moving north.
Nice.
So there is so much of learning. In our profession, there is a very famous saying, which is like you have to unlearn what you've learned and then you have to relearn. The GST law is a fairly nascent law, but there are so many notifications and circulars. So you have to dedicate 2 hours just reading the law and then to apply that law, to your clients, wherein notices are running into a few 100 crores. It's very exciting. And third is like a homemaker and a mom. My son is just 9 and I'm still understanding, the dynamics of being a parent. So I think life is good. I'm somewhere in my 20s. I have a lot to achieve. You will see me yet again on this show. And I'm really looking forward to many more exciting ventures in the future.
First of all, wishing you all the best, for all the accolades you've achieved and, all the best what you're planning to achieve as
Absolutely.
well. Also, I want to know, today's youth, who drive our country and who's the future of our country, they are very conscious in terms of what career path they should choose, how fitness and health can, help them, so why fitness and health according to you is so important, and what message would you want to give to the youth, watching our show today, a positive message from your side that, like how you have a never give up attitude, which has got you out here. So what is that kind of message where, you can tell people, or the youth of today, what would that be from you?
I think 2 or 3 life principles, which I keep writing on my LinkedIn profile as well. And I just wrote something day before, and it resonated with a lot of youngsters, because in my profession, there are a lot of young chartered accountants who have just started their careers and they really look up to people like us for some guidance. So a few life hacks which have always helped me, and I wish I knew them when I was chronologically 20. I think that you should not try to be just exceptional, you should try to be consistent.
Right.
I think consistency is the key. We start something, we get bored and we drop it. I think the discipline to keep at it is something which is unique, and Rome was not built in a day. You really have to have the wherewithal to follow it through. Second is, as I mentioned, about the kind of people you hang out with. Company really rubs off on you. So you have to be very mindful of the kind of people you hang out with. You have to make sure you hang out in company of people who help you be the best version of yourself. And as Warren Buffett once said, that the difference between successful and very successful people is that the latter say no to almost everything. So you have to learn the art of saying no. My husband tells me I'm not an ice cream seller. It's not my job to make everyone happy.
Right.
So you have to learn to basically prioritize. And I think this constant nagging that I don't have time. You spoke about fitness.
Yeah.
I think 9 out of 10 people say time nahi milta hai. And I always tell them that it's never about having time. It's always about making time.
True.
And I think also, as I spoke about mentorship, just to carry on further from there, I'd say that when you want to achieve your life goals, you should just not listen to people who are close to you. Listen to people who are closer to your goals.
Right.
And I think that helps you be the best version of yourself. And I always also say that I don't believe in multitasking. I really feel multitasking is like chains of gold. If it's on your priority, you'll always find time, the wherewithal and the energy to do it. So like a car moves on 4 wheels, and if one of the wheels is flat, the car would not move forward.
Yeah.
Likewise, I realized that my life moves, the car of my life moves on 4 wheels. One is my social life, one is my professional life, one is my family life, and one is my personal life. And the driving factor, the steering wheel, is my spiritual life. We hang out with friends, go out for dinner, parties, that's your social life. I'm a chartered accountant. You are a podcast artist, a great YouTuber. That's our respective professional lives. Family lives, you are a father to beautiful children. so am I, your partner, my partner. That sums up our family life. I think it's very important to delve deep into what comprises your personal life. And I think this is where most people miss out. For Indian women especially, they feel, no offense men, but I was also one of them, preparing a cup of tea for your husband or packing tiffin for your son is your personal life. I love doing it, but that does not make my personal life. That's my family life. You have to find something that brings you that intrinsic sense of joy, not even recognition. And once you find these four wheels of life, I think life starts unfolding the magical life it is. And then is the driving wheel of spirituality. Like my spiritual guru always tells me, we spoke about humility right now, head high, heart humble. And I think when you are spiritual, when I say spiritual, does not mean that you always have to go to a temple. We all have our different ways of being spiritual. Maybe by doing a donation, that is spirituality to you. Maybe by sitting in a temple and doing meditation is spirituality to me. But I think once you have an element of spirituality in your life, you know, I think life really starts moving ahead. So I think for all these youngsters who are just beginning their careers or who are watching us, I think you have to maintain a balance between your life and make sure that all the four wheels are intact. And so is the steering wheel.
Right. Also, you know, Shivani, today we all talk about women empowerment. You know, government's also trying their best, you know, to do a lot of things for the women in our society. You know, but there are still challenges for women. You know, on a day-to-day basis, you know, probably they're not getting the right kind of motivation, or, you know, people not wanting to help them too much, you know, to pursue their field, you know, because today it's still, if you see, it's still a men-driven society, you know. So in those times, you know, like even women have dreams, they have their passions. What would you tell those women, you know, who want to come out of that bubble, you know, and encourage them and to break stereotypes, or, you know, to come forward and, you know, pursue their dreams?
I always tell myself that fly as high as you can, because the wings are yours and the sky belongs to no one. I'll not say it's been an easy journey for me. I had it very tough. And just to give you a sense of the kind of background I come from, if I was to travel from Kolkata to Siliguri, I had to take months of permission in advance.
Okay.
And most likely, I would also not be allowed. For my first World Asian Championship in Malaysia, my brother was sent as a bodyguard. When I first told I want to participate in a kettlebell national competition in Delhi, people around me almost thought that I've committed a sin. It was almost sacrilege, like you and sports and Marwari family and travel to Delhi, you have a son, all of that. So I have been there, I've done it. I'm not going to say it wasn't tough. It was very tough. But I never became cynical towards life. And I don't know, maybe I just kept doing my thing. And in the process of doing it, you know, I think every challenge became an opportunity for me. So देखो यार सिड, हम आते हैं ना, हमें नाम भी कोई और देता है.
Right.
आपको काम भी कोई और देता है. और जब when we leave this world to our onward journey, हमें कंधा भी कोई और ही देगा. The only one thing जो आपकी है, वो है आपका कर्म. आपका नाम भी आपका नहीं है.
Exactly.
So I think I believe in the power of karma. If you keep doing your work, things will eventually fall in place.
Right.
And I think again, you said we are a patriarchal society. I feel so too. Even today, people from a certain family background need approval from the male counterparts of their family. I always say that men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and we don't wish to be like men, and neither do we aspire to be like men. But today, the place and position that I am at, Sid, there have only been men, other than my mom obviously, who've contributed. My coach is a male, my life partner Mayank, my son Lavik, my dad. I am a product of good upbringing. I think 80% of your adult life is solved if you've got a rock solid upbringing. And by rock solid, I don't mean a lot of hugs and kisses and fancy parties and cars. I think rock solid upbringing means real value system that, you know, you are built up on. So as a message to the woman, I'll say that be your own hero and stop seeking validation from people around you. And the person you should be most proud of is the person when you look at the mirror you see.
Right.
And in the I just came across these words which are like, "Khud ko khoya to kya paya." You can't pour from an empty vessel. You can't be a good parent if you're not happy yourself. You can't love your life partner if you don't love yourself. You can't be a good employer if you don't love yourself. So I think early on, I'm a kid of the 1980s. We were never taught the concept of self-love and self-care. And again, self-love comes in various formats. So I think once you start loving yourself and you know that you have to be the best version, I think everything around you becomes so magical.
Right.
Because luck also has a very bad habit of favoring those who work towards it. So I think you have to work towards your goal. You really have to have that, no, I'm not going to give up. As someone rightly said, you know, you do not know how much you can endure till being strong is the only option you have. And I have been at that juncture and that crossroad where I had to be strong, because not just physically, Sid, mentally, because life did not offer me any other choice.
Right.
So I think being at that crossroads in life, realizing that, buddy, there is no way. I mean, good or bad, this is the only way you have. You know, it's your life and you've got to do it. I think that makes you the person. And usi mein mazedari hai na, like when you are product of all the challenges that you've been through.
You know, you've actually been a role model for so many women, especially, you know, I'm truly proud of you. I'm inspired today sitting with you.
Likewise, I'm proud of you too.
So now comes to a fun segment. This is my fun rapid fire round, just to know you more personally, you know. So to begin with, I want to know, if not kettlebell, which sport would it be?
Nothing else for me.
Okay. One genre of music which you personally like, which you have low days, and you really... Bollywood. My husband has not made me listen to Bollywood in the last 22 years of knowing him. And now my good friend and my partner, Rohit, every time I sit in this car, I'm like, Rohit, just put on this music for me. And I love Bollywood because my son, he doesn't even know, for starters, who's Amitabh Bachchan or Shah Rukh. So as I say, the environment matters, but I am a great sucker for Bollywood music. What's your current favorite read? Leaders Eat Last. I am a great fan of Simon Sinek. I think he's really shaped me and my thought process. I'm sorry, I'll just take 30 seconds to speak on this. I've been a family person all throughout my life, Sid. And understanding the roles I juggle between, I never really had the time or the bandwidth or the inclination for knowing friends. And very recently, I found a best friend in my partner, who's a chartered accountant, Rohit. And believe me, I can see how life is changing. So Simon told, I mean, in one of his reels, he said that a true friend is not someone who will tell you from afar that, hey buddy, see, I'm here waiting for you, hang in. It's someone who gets into that mess with you and tells you that, see, we are together in this, figure it out, till then we'll do it together. And I'm so glad I found a friend like that. And now to put that perspective in place, and then you have a friend like that, I think only reading can help. So I think I'm a great fan of Simon. Okay, according to you, you know, who you judge yourself, Shivani the mum, Shivani the professional, Shivani the chartered accountant, or Shivani the wife? The mother. Okay. That's the role I love playing the most. It's the only time in my life I realized that you can love someone unconditionally. Right. Okay. According to you, the difference between the millennials and Gen Zs of today? I don't know what really is the difference. I mean, I just say that be the person you are, millennial, Gen Z. My son is 9 and he keeps sus and the kind of terms he uses. I don't know, I almost feel alien to them. I just feel that be the best version of yourself, whatever generation you are at. What is that one motto which you stand by, you know, and you really believe in? I already said this, but I'll say this again, that if you're persistent, you will get it. And if you're consistent, you will keep it. Okay. Well, that comes to an end of this episode. Thank you so much, Shivani. It was such an honor and a privilege to sitting with you and chatting with you. And you've made the whole world proud. You've put India on the map in terms of kettlebell sports as well. So wishing you all the very best, and you keep making India proud. Thank you. And look forward to many more other episodes with you. So again, thank you once again for this chat. Thank you, Sid. It was lovely. It was my first time here. And I've known the kind of person you are and the vibe I get from you. All I'm saying, I mean, it was very exciting. And thank you for having me over at this platform. And I look forward to many
more such podcasts.
Thank you once again.
Thank you, Sid.